Hi, my name is Angela Redding, and I'm a third grade teacher at Katina Elementary in Freehold Township. I wanted to quickly share some examples of how technology is integrated within my classroom and how my students are really active participants using multimedia content to support their personalized instruction. So right here is an example of a schedule which is shared with each of my students. So I just create a Google slide presentation and I share it with my students. They have access to view but not edit because it allows me to change the content based on each day. So in the morning when they come in, they can just see I'll have it presented in the front of the room, but they can also get their Chromebooks. We do have one-to-one Chromebooks, and it has the instructions for the morning work. It's not always technology based, but when possible, if I can front load or give them information to prepare them for the day, I will. So tomorrow when they come in, they will come in, it'll say, please watch the video links. They'll click on the link. And here we go. They will get information about the content for the day.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us.
So what's great about this is during guided reading, my guided reading groups are going to be talking and discussing climate change. So here, they're going to be able to access information before they read about it. So it's very helpful to give them some background information. This is an example of what my students' digital rotations would look like. Now, usually all these boxes would be filled in, but I wanted to keep it simple so you weren't overwhelmed with content. And here on this side, the students would see their names. So we have different colored groups. So let's say, just going to delete this stuff so you can just keep it simple and see what we're doing. So this would be the blue group. So when they come to me, Mrs. Redding Guided Reading, they will always have, or most likely have, a hard copy of the text, whether it's a novel, a book, or we've really been focusing on informational articles. So in addition to having the hard copy, I also try, when possible, to upload or share out with them a digital version. So the students will each get a copy in their Google Classroom of their guided reading text. And they would be able to highlight the text, make comments on the text, share out information with their parents. It's just like so much that they can do when they have a digital form. I can have them, underline and highlight the most important details. The possibilities are really endless. When they get to their second rotation, this is really cool. They would click on this, and I just love when I can provide students with an activity and I don't have to take the time to necessarily give them the instructions. So they could click on the link right here, Climate Lego Model Research Build, and it will actually take them to a screencastify video I created.
Hello, climatologists.
And this will explain to them what they're going to be doing. This gives so much more additional time for me to work with my small groups because they can come here and get another version of me. They get a video version of me to go over the instructions. I've also included timers, which is super helpful to keep my students on task because I know they're in third grade. It's hard to take a look at the clock and really manage time. So when you are able to include a link to a timer, that's very helpful. So that's another way that we can include technology. Oh, I'll come back to that because what's really awesome is that not only are my students going to be building, researching, building a Lego model of a climate zone, then they're going to go to Flipgrid, which allows them to present their build in a digital format, and it allows them to present information, practice with speaking and sharing out information. So again, they're being active participants. They're researching, reading, building, and presenting. Another example of how I use technology in my ELA instruction is when they're not with me, if I can provide them with another reading text on their level that focuses on the skill. So here I give them very detailed instructions on their activity, and it allows them to really work through a text independently to show me what they know. And what's great about it is it's on Google Classroom, so they each have their own copy, but I also have access to what they're doing. I can share with parents, share information. Finally, another way that we integrate technology is our digital choice board, which is something I picked up while working in Freehold. I think it's a fabulous way to give students choice and allows them to be motivated. So when they click on the digital choice board, they will have access, not editing rights, but they will be able to view and click on all of these different activities that really encompass what we plan to cover in ELA and science, because all of our curriculum is integrated. So there are videos and there are games and there are research. I mean, there's so much here for them to do, and allows them to give choice of when they want to complete those activities. So it's just, when you think about technology, it is not just students playing a game or going on a website. They can read and interact with text. They can present information. They can compare and contrast text and share with other students. And they can have the ability of choice. So I hope that was helpful in understanding how we work through ELA. Again, this is just one group. Every group would have their own content, which really helps with personalization and giving students what they need. Finally, what I'd love to include is access to weekly mini lessons. So if I'm doing a lesson on compare and contrast clue words, when possible, I love to provide my students with resources. So let's say that I'm not with them, they're not in my group, they're working in another station. They can access information without me being there. So whenever possible, I love to give them access and links to support their learning. Because again, we want our students to be leaders of their learning. We want them to be able to access information, know how to work through information. And I know they're only third graders, but I would love anybody who's watching this video, who's part of Freehold Township, come take a look at what my students can do. I am so proud of the things they have accomplished in such a short amount of time, and they are phenomenal. Thanks for watching. Bye.